Okay, today's lesson is type 3 equations. So what you're going to see in type 3 equations is you're going to see groups of variables. You might see them on the right side and the left side. You might see them groups of them on the right side of the equation and or on the left side of the equation. And what we have to do is we have to collect our terms, collect our like terms, and what we do is we place all the variables on the left side of the...
You aren't recording. You aren't recording.
Okay, so recall then that when we're talking about constants, we're just talking about the numbers by themselves. They don't have any variable attached to them. So we want the constant to go on the right-hand side of the equations, and we keep our variable on the left-hand side of the equation. And usually we will see x as the variable in these examples. Okay, just to reiterate, anytime you're moving anything across the equal sign, you have to make sure you're doing the opposite operation. If you're collecting terms on one side of the equal sign, you're just collecting them like you would normally. All right, so let's take a look at our first example. Okay, so our first example, we have 4x minus 3, and it's equal to 2x plus 13. All right, so looking at this, we have x on our left side of the equation. We also have x on the right-hand side of the equation. So we have to bring all the x's to the left-hand side. That's usually how it's done. We bring our x or the variable to the left-hand side of the equation, and we take our numbers and we move them to the right-hand side of the equation. So let's work with our variables first. So we have here on the right-hand side, we have 2x. I want to take this whole 2x and I want to move it to the left-hand side. It's a positive 2x. There's no negative sign in front of here, so it's assumed to be a positive 2x. So to move this whole thing to the left-hand side, I can subtract it like this. Because I've done it to the right-hand side, I have to do it to the left-hand side, so I'm going to subtract 2x here. So notice how I'm subtracting the 2x with the 4x. I'm not subtracting it with the 3, with this negative 3. All right, so I just draw my line here to show my next step, or what the equation looks like next. So on my left-hand side, 4x minus 2x is 2x. I still have the negative 3 or the minus 3. On the right-hand side, I have 2x minus 2x. That's gone. It's 0. And then I still have the plus 13 or just 13. All right, now it looks like a type 2 equation. So we have to work with our opposite of adding or subtracting first. So I have a negative 3 or the minus 3. So the opposite of that is to add 3. But I have to do it to both sides. All right, so on my left-hand side now, I have 2x. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. And it's equal to 13 plus 3, which is 16. And my last step now is to divide by 2 on both sides. 2x divided by 2 is x, and then 16 divided by 2 is 8. And there we go. X is equal to 8. Okay, so let's take a look at this question. So on our left-hand side, I'm just going to show this again, the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So on our left-hand side, we have a 3x plus a 5x plus 7 and then minus 4x. So because we have a 3x, 5x, and a negative 4x, we can collect those together first on our left-hand side. So collect these together. All right, just like just like if you were adding or subtracting. It's just like that. So 3x plus 5x, that's 8x. 3 plus 5 is 8. And then 8x minus 4x gives me 4x on the left-hand side. All right, so all I've done is collected these three terms, the 3x, the 5x, and the negative 4x. I still have the plus 7, so I'm just going to bring that down. Using colors does help when you're collecting like terms, like I did here. And next, we have our equal sign, and we have 19 plus the 1x. All right, so that's already looking now like the type 3 we were looking at before. So now I'm going to collect my x's on the left-hand side. So I have to bring this one over to this side. Because I'm going over the equal sign, I have to subtract. I have to do the opposite operation, and I have to do it to both sides, like that. All right, draw my line. On my left-hand side now, I have 4x minus 1x, which is 3x, plus the 7, and it's equal to 19. 1x minus 1x is gone. It's 0. All right, so now I have 3x plus 7 is equal to 19. Subtract the 7, subtract the 7. 3x is equal to 19 minus 7, which is 12. And now I just have to divide by 3 on both sides. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So x is equal to 4. Okay, so our next example, we have 6x plus 5x minus 2x, and it's equal to 63. So on our left-hand side of our equal sign, we have three terms that can be collected together. 6x, 5x, and negative 2x. We can collect those together. So 6x plus 5x, that is 11x. And then 11x minus 2x, that is 9x. So on the left-hand side, we end up with 9x. It's equal to 63. Okay, and now we can start doing our opposite operations to isolate x. What we do to the left-hand side, we have to do to the right-hand side. So we can divide by 9 on both sides. 9x divided by 9 is just 1x, and then 63 divided by 9 is 7. So x is equal to 7. Okay, so next example, we have 6x minus 5 and then minus 2x, and it's equal to 7 plus 1. So look at your left side first, left side of the equal sign, and we can collect our like terms. Okay, so on our left side, we have 6x and it's minus 2x that we can collect together. All right, make sure you take that sign in front of the term. So you can think of it as 6x minus 2x, or you can think of it as 6x plus negative 2x. It's the same thing. So we end up with 4x minus 5 is equal to, on the right-hand side, we have 7 plus 1. 7 plus 1, you can just add together. It's equal to 8. All right, notice I did not do anything with the minus 5 here because I cannot combine it with the 6x and the negative 2x. All right, so now we are looking at type 2 equation. We'll add 5 to both sides. And negative 5 and positive 5 cancel out, and we're left with 4x is equal to 13. And lastly, we have to divide by 4. Divide by 4 on both sides. 4x divided by 4 is equal to just 1x. So here you can leave 13 over 4. X is equal to 13 over 4. Or put it into your calculator and get the decimal. 13 divided by 4 is equal to 3.25.